This is a BMW 320 AI, and we're having issues with it. We constantly getting the message on the screen, drivetrain malfunction, and as you can see right now, the cuts, then pop, they are related to misfire, specifically on cylinder number 4. It doesn't go away. These spark plugs are brand new, and still we're getting misfire on cylinder number 4. And you can clearly see that the cylinder number 4 isn't working because it looks all wet, because all the material then the cylinder is releasing is getting, it just staying there, it's not getting burned. So after inspecting the engine thoroughly, definitely we have an internal engine problem. So it's very common to have intake valve situation where the valves get a lot of carbon build and start letting compression out. So we did apply some intake valve cleaner to see what was going to be the result, and after doing the whole process on applying a whole bottle, and if you haven't seen how to apply that, you can see my videos on how to do the intake valve cleaning on these. You can check my channel, I have details on how to do that. And after doing that, still we getting the same misfire, and as we see on the data of the vehicle, we get a constant misfire. Then it means then in each cycle, then the computer is registered, then the cycle is happening on cylinder number 4, we getting the constant misfire. The count keeps on going high and high, it doesn't stop, so that means then the cylinder is dead, completely dead. So for that we have to do a compression test to see how it goes. So as soon as we get the compression test done, we realize that we don't have that much compression. We have a 75 compression, which is a very low compressor on this engine. It gotta be between 150, 175, a healthy compression on these engines. But in this case, the compression is very low. This is causing misfire. That's the reason why the engine is shutting down the injectors, specifically on cylinder number 4, because the compressor is not reaching. The contribution of the engine, of the cylinder to the engine, it is not that great, and the computer doesn't know the issue because it's mechanical. In this case, it's not electronic. So in this case, the computer will shut the injector so it doesn't pollute, doesn't destroy catalytic converters, or doesn't do anything else. So the only way to understand the nature of this issue is going inside the cylinder. So there is no way you can go inside the cylinder just like that. So for that we need an endoscope camera. You can easily buy any of these online, Amazon, eBay. So with this we have the ability to go inside, so that's what we did on this one to inspect the cylinder. The cylinder number 4 is going to be a little harder to reach because it's in the rear area. If you have cylinder number 1, cylinder number 2 are going to be easier because they're the front. And we can see that we have issues on the cylinder walls, and these could be caused from many different reasons. Cylinder walls can be damaged because of manufacturer defect, or engine abuse, any stage of modification of an engine, or simply something went inside of the engine while the engine was working. Usually what happens is then the piston ring is the one that gets damaged, and the piston ring start scratching the cylinder walls of the engine of the cylinder, and these start destroying the compression, and that, as a consequence, you're going to have low compression. And up to right now, we already know that this engine is having internal issues, so there is no way that this can be repaired just like that. If it's possible to repair this engine without taking the engine apart, it is not possible. There is no way you are going to fix a cylinder, internal component of the engine, without removing the engine. You have to remove the engine, but in this case, because of the cylinder is damaged, there is no way we can reuse the same engine block. The engine block has to be replaced if you're thinking to rebuild this engine, because we cannot replace the cylinder on these engines. In these modern engines, the cylinder and the engine block are one piece, so you cannot just replace it. So the best way will be to replace the engine block and do a full overhaul on the engine, or replacing the engine with a used engine, and that will be the cheaper solution in this case, replacing with a used engine, because that can cost between anything from 4,000 all the way to 8,000, depending on the engine price, depending on the labor cost and the things, then they gotta be replaced at the moment of removing the engine. So this is something then could happen to any BMW 328, 320 at any time. It's something that won't give you any type of warning. It's just going to appear. You are driving normally and suddenly drivetrain malfunction appears with no type of warning. Engine doesn't make any type of sound except then it doesn't have power, or it doesn't run stable. So that will be the only signs that it's going to give you, but you won't hear any type of knocking, you won't hear any type of malfunction that is coming from the engine. It's just going to be that. So in the past I did another video just like this, the other BMW 328, and we had the same issue, in this case on cylinder number 2, but in the case of this is a 2016 BMW 328, and it has only 50,000 miles on it, and you already have this issue, which is very inconvenient. But you know, mileage has nothing to do if the engine fails, because you know, it depends how you drive it, or the previous owner, how they drove it, and defects, you know, when something happens, when the engine was put together, probably something was not done right. But this is all I have for all of you today. I guess many of you want to have questions about it. If that's the case, you can use the comment section below, and there you can ask me anything. If you have the answers for those questions too, you can, you know, answer those questions and someone else is wondering about. You can contact me directly on Instagram. Look for me, Francisco Maya YouTube. Ask me anything. If you have any type of questions about these machines and support, you can check the description of the video. Have details how to send support to the channel to continue making helpful videos for all of you with these machines that are very complex and it is very hard to understand them. So like the video, very important, share it with anybody that wants to know information about these machines, and thank you for watching.